How's that? Now do you see me? Everybody see me now? Hello. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so now everybody can see. Apologize again. Thanks for your patience. This is my first time. I tested that it's going to work okay, but I learned it. So, well, great to have you. And we got how many people we have here? Let me see. About 17, 18 people right now. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so hear me okay? Hopefully. Now you can see me. I can see you, but you can chat me. You can chat, send the chat if you want to. So let me go back, and as I did an introduction, obviously you didn't see me, you didn't hear me. So I'll repeat again. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And wherever you are, well, thanks for joining. And to this mindful movement class and mindful movement lesson. It's a short one, 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes, depending on how I feel. Anyways, so this is going to be sitting lesson. And you can sit in a chair, you can sit on the floor, as long as you feel comfortable. And that's the whole thing. And because you want to be able to pay a good attention to your body and your movement. If you feel uncomfortable because of the constraint of the position, then I would say sit in a chair if that makes it easier for you. And so it doesn't matter. Okay, so you make a choice and you decide what works the best. If you feel the chair is easier, by all means use a chair. I'm using a chair. So for a lot of people, I would think that sitting in a chair and doing a lesson in a chair would be a little bit easier. So you can try that. And so just to give you just a little bit of time to get ready, if you don't have a chair nearby, you can bring a chair, you can sit in a chair. If you choose to sit on the floor, you can use a pillow, cushion, whatever you need, and to make yourself as comfortable as you can. Really simple lesson. And I believe that this is being recorded and then it will be saved. And for those who need to leave early, and it'll be up there, you can use the same link and then you can access the recording later. And I'm not going to delete it, just gonna leave it up there for you guys. So feel free, if you wanna share with your friends, family, please do so. Appreciate that. All right, I think we're ready to start. So let's sit in a chair or sit on the floor comfortably. You can have your shoes on, no shoes, your choice. It doesn't matter. So sit comfortably means that you don't have to be so conscious about your sitting posture. How do you sit? How do you sit? And but if you're sitting with the chair with the backrest, and go ahead and scoot yourself forward so you're not leaning against the backrest. So scoot yourself forward in a chair, and I'd like you to have your feet on the ground, not dangling in the air. So make sure that your feet can stay on the ground. And so we're going to be spending or focusing on the one side, and we'll be choosing the right arm. And the purpose of just doing it on one side is so that you can we'll go through the movement lessons on the one side, and then at the end, you can feel a difference between the right side and the left side in terms of the quality of the movement of your arm. So that said, so the first reference movement, what I call test movement, is very slowly right arm. Okay, let your right arm hang at your side, and then begin to slowly lift it to the shoulder height in front of you, right about there. And then slowly bring your arm down. And as you raise your arm, so the second, do maybe 2 or 3 more times, but do it so slowly. Then I'd like you to pay attention to note that weight and how do you sense the weight of your arm and how much of effort do you feel to raise your arm so that you can listen to the quality of the movement. Move slowly, just a few more times. Lift, and down. Do you feel any effort? Do you feel any strain? And if so, where do you feel strain? Okay, so that's the right arm. Okay, just for the reference. And switch arms and do 3 times or so, and slowly lift your left arm, just like you did it with the right side, and so that you can feel the difference. Does it feel different? If so, how is it different? Does it feel heavier? Does it feel lighter? Does it feel smoother? Is it more uncomfortable? Is it more comfortable? Is it more pleasant? Is it not as pleasant? Okay, so that's the reference. Now you take a pause. Okay, and go ahead and slowly raise your right arm into the shoulder height. If that's too strenuous for you and too much strain on your arm or your shoulder, you can lower your arm down a little bit. That's fine. Just make an adjustment. And then as you hold in your arm at the shoulder height, roughly, and take a look at your hand and your wrist and your fingers. What's the shape? Are you holding your hands and your fingers in straight? Are you working hard with your fingers, wrist? Okay. And are you, or can you give yourself a permission to let that go so that your hands, your wrist can drop? Okay. And then slowly bring your arm down. Okay. So slowly do that again. Lift your arm, but without efforting through your wrist or your fingers, the hand. Lift it and leave it at the shoulder height. Okay, leave it there. So no effort. Just hold it lightly. And now put your left hand on your sternum, on the front of the sternum. Okay, so feel the sternum with your left hand and begin to move your sternum into your hand, into your left hand. So you're moving your sternum forward, okay, into your left hand. Just so, not so far, just a little bit. So you can feel the movement of the sternum with your left hand. Move it forward and back down. And back down. Okay, and then slowly lower your arm down, right arm down, and take a pause. So I try to stop in a pace and so I don't go too fast, but I like you to always pay attention to your own comfort. And so you can make an adjustment as you need it. You may feel that is you need to stop a little bit sooner, and please do stop sooner. And that would be better for you. So it is about the learning how to pay attention to yourself. It is not about just the learning to move for the sake of moving and exercising the muscles. So that's really not the point. The point is learning to pay attention to your own self, your comfort, and your bodies and movements, quality of the movement. So that said, and go ahead and begin to bring your right arm up, shoulder height. Watch your hand and your fingers, wrist. Let it hang, let it dangle. Okay. And once again, put your left hand on your sternum. And you need to move your sternum forward. So if you do pay attention to your arm, okay, do you notice as you're moving your sternum forward directions? And can you feel your arm is moving forward as the sternum is moving forward? Okay, and can you just imagine that there is that connection? Okay, the sternum is connected to your arm, right? And can you just imagine that you are moving your arm by moving your sternum forward? Okay, so the arm doesn't really have to do anything, but all you have to think about is now, just ever so slightly, move your sternum forward and notice how that is connecting to your arm and how the arms are moving. What's the relationship between your arm and your sternum? Okay, lower your arm down and rest. So just by changing and shifting your attention to from one place to another place, and then how you pay attention to one part of the body and to another part of the body, that what is really informing your brain, your nervous system about your body and the movements. So this is really what the awareness to movement is all about. It is about attention, more so than just the movement itself. Okay, raise your right arm out. up, shoulder height, and this time, okay, again, doing the same movements, but I'm going to shift your attention a little bit differently. So instead of initiating the movement from your sternum, but think about somebody is gently pulling your right arm forward directions, okay, here. So as imagine that your arm is gently being pulled forward by somebody's hand. And take your hand on your left hand on your sternum again. And can you feel how your sternum is being pulled forward? And how that sensation is different from being moving forward and pushing forward versus being pulled forward gently from your arm. There. Okay. Lower your arm down. So I'm kind of pacing this movement and based on how I feel. So I don't know how you feel, okay? But when I'm starting to feel a little bit of strain and effort through my arm and shoulder, then I try to stop before I feel too much of the work. And let's change something. Raise your arm up, right arm up, shoulder height, and let's now move your attention to your ribs behind. I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see. You can put your hand if your shoulder is agreeable with you, and you can put your hand however you can, and so you can touch any part of the ribs on the back with your left hand, with the back of your hand or with the palm, whichever is easier for you. And so now feel the ribs, and then feel that relationship between the ribs where you're touching and then your right arm. And then begin to move your ribs forward directions. And as you move your ribs forward directions, and can you feel how your right arm is being and reaching forward as well? It's almost as if you are connecting your ribs to your right arm. And can you do that? Okay. Rest. Rest your arm. Let your arms hang at your side and add your just hanging your arms at your side and feel the sensation of your right arm and feel the sensation of your left arm. Sensation of your right hand and sensation of your left hand. Is there any difference? They feel the same or they feel different? Which shoulder is higher? Which shoulder is lower? Which arm feels longer? Which arm feels shorter? And again, bring your arm, right arm up, shoulder height, and again, left hand on your ribs somewhere, back of your ribs. And then this time, imagine that your arm, right arm, is being pulled forward by someone. And then you feel that pull also, and that how is that pulling through entire self and then connect it to your ribs so that your ribs is also going to be pulled forward directions. So you're changing the initiation of the movement, but you're doing almost the same movements, right? But that brings a different quality of this movement. So how do you like this movement? How do you like the sensation of being pulled and compared to the sensation of moving and pushing forward? There's a difference. You're moving in the same directions, but by just changing where you start the movement, how you initiate the movement, and then shifting your intention from pulling, from a pushing to pulling. And that is a completely different movement. Okay, a few more times. And bring your arm down and rest. And by the way, when you're resting, you don't have to sit. If you want to stand up and walk, run, that's also resting too. So you don't have to be in the same place as you need, and as you feel like you need to adjust and change positions, you can do that. All right, let's explore just a couple more different places so where you can connect your arm to. Hold your right arm up, shoulder height. Just check your arm, check your hand and wrist, not tensing, just easy, lazy hand. And take your left hand and feel your belly button. Okay, so feel that. And so now can you push your belly button forward, okay, into your hand? So moving in four directions, moving in four directions. Okay. But you're moving your belly button forward directions, not downward directions. There's a difference. When you shift, when you move your belly button downward directions, then notice where your arm goes, right? And that takes your arm in a different place. So be intentional with the direction as the belly button going forward. Okay, so take your belly button forward directions. There. So push it forward and to move your arm forward to connect your belly to your right arm. Now, how do they connect? Easier, harder for you, and different from a person to person, obviously. Some people know this one more than some other parts and some other people. And take a rest. And return to the same starting position, right arm up, shoulder height, left hand on your belly button. And this time, shift your attention from a pushing to pulling. Okay, so from your arm, pull as if somebody is gently pulling your right arm forward directions, and then let that movement pull your belly forward. Okay, let the pulling of your arm and go through yourself and then pull your belly forward. Okay, is it easy or easier for you to find this connection, or is it harder for you to find the connection, the pull, the sense of being pulled and connecting to yourself from using the pulling motion? There. Okay. Rest your arms. Okay, so there are many places that we can pick, but I'm just going to pick only one more place to explore, pelvis. Okay, so first you can take your hands, either right hand on the right side of the pelvis and left hand on the left side of the pelvis, and then begin to just invite the pelvis to roll forward directions, forward directions. Okay, so roll the pelvis forward directions, and what does that do to your spine as the pelvis rolls forward? Can you feel that lengthening of the spine? And can you feel just a slight arching of the spine? You don't have to exaggerate, okay, to a point where you feel stress, strain. And that's too much. Okay, so just the beginning to roll the pelvis forward. Okay, so now once you get that movement, you're going to connect that pelvis to your right arm, just like you did with all the other movements. So hold your right arm up with a soft, lazy hand. That's what I call. And begin to roll the pelvis forward and use the movements, rolling the pelvis forward and to reach your right arm forward directions, but without efforting through your arm at all. Okay, as if your arm is directly connected to the pelvis. And if possible, can you imagine that you are growing your length, you're lengthening the spine, and you're getting taller as you're rolling the pelvis instead of getting shorter. Okay, so think about you're getting taller as you roll the pelvis, and then that will move and lengthen your arm and reach your arm forward without any effort. There. Okay, so how easy is that to move your arm to reach your arm forward from the pelvis? Now continue to do that movement a few more times, and then now without stopping the movements, and then now shift your attention to your belly and connect the movement from the belly to your arm. Okay? So to keep that same quality, lightness, ease. And now shift your attention to your ribs. Connect the ribs to your arm. And shift your attention to your sternum and connect your sternum to your arm, right arm. Okay? And that's enough. And bring your arm down, right arm down. Let both arms hang at your side. And you can close your eyes and feel and sense two arms. The two arms feel different. Okay, with your eyes closed, we'll come back to the reference movement we did. And remember what we did? We slowly raise the arm into the shoulder height in front. So do it just only once, very slowly, with your right arm. So how does the right arm move? And what's the quality of the movement right now? Does it feel lighter? Does it feel easier? Only once, okay? If you do too many times, then it becomes harder for you to notice the difference, okay? Now, feel the left arm. So do only once. Notice the difference? Which arm feels lighter? Which arm feels heavier? And you may stand up, and as you're standing up, let your arms hang at your side and feel how your arms hanging from your torso. Sense of the weight, and how do you sense the length of your arms, weight of your arms. And you can take a walk around and you can pay attention how your right arm swings and how the left arm swings. And notice if there's any difference in quality of the movement. And so that's the really short lesson, right? So it's only about 20 minutes or so. But that's only with your right arm. So you may have a questions that may be thinking, well, wouldn't it be better to do left arm as well so you feel more symmetrical? You can do that. Nothing wrong with doing that. But it's not necessary. It is absolutely okay that you do lesson only to one side and feeling somewhat off balance and asymmetrical, of course, as a result of sensing in the two sides and very differently, and that's fine. But guess what will happen just very quickly over the next hour or so is that the brain is going to use that information and noticing and the contrast between the two sides, and it's starting to assimilate that information, and then it's trying to integrate that into your movements. So then the difference will be less, and then you probably won't feel much difference afterwards and slowly. So it's up to you, and you can choose what feels right for you. So that's the lesson. And like I said, I believe, and since this is the first time, so I can't say that for sure, but this is being recorded right now. And then, so all the video is going to stay on and use the same link that I gave it to you, and to access the video later on. And you can do that. So any questions? It's a very quick and a simple lesson. But yet, it's not about just the movements and not about the length of the time and length of the lesson. It is about the quality of your attention to your movements. That's what makes a difference. So, any questions? I'm just reading the chat. If you have something you want to share, you can chat. You can write in the chat, or you can leave a comment later too. But if you don't, I'm just going to hang out for another couple minutes or so. If you do have a questions, if you want to chat with me, I'll be happy to chat. You can just write it down, and then I can answer your questions and right now in time. Yeah, it's nice. So for people from Hawaii, New York, France, London, California, and a few other places. Oh, it's pretty nice. Yeah, I kind of like using it. At first, it's strange in talking to a camera without being able to see any of your face, but but I'll get used to it. Okay, so uh, I don't have a plan for the next one, but my hope with the holiday season, it's kind of up in the air. But my hope is that I will be doing something like this, maybe once a month, and then I'll send emails and to the mailing list and to send you an invite. So if you want to join, you can join, or if you want to join, watch it later, you can do that. And but the nice thing about this live is that the ability to interact. If we want to do that, then through the chat, so we can do that. Answer the questions in real time. All right. Looks like you have no questions, and that is fine. So, well, guys, have a wonderful day, and well, thank you very much, and appreciate and thank you for your being for your patience and for your participation. So I will see you next time, whenever that is. But be safe and stay healthy. Happy mindful movement. Bye bye.